and gentlemen, this is Josh Carton from Curian, here to talk to you about doing firmware updates and resets on the N2. There are a few folks out there who have been having issues with the firmware where the unit is booting up and just continuing to put them into a bootloader mode. I'm going to go ahead and take the N2 Neuron out of its silicone case here. Take the magnetic pad, put it to the side. I've gone ahead and already taken out my screws, but you'd want to go ahead and unscrew your N2. And we're going to need to open up the housing. Now, to talk a little bit about opening this up, oh, by the way, there's your serial number if you do want instructions on how to find your serial number. Now, here is the board. I'm going to go ahead and take it out for this. You don't need to, but I want to show you guys a few things as well. So you want to grab right here at the pins, between the pins, and start to wedge and bring out your N2. So I'll put the housing off here to the side, and we've got the unit. Now, what I'm going to point out to you, two things. One, the SD card slot is right here with the reset button. Two, on the back side of the batteries, there's a small orange LED here. This is going to be what helps us understand whether or not the tool is in a good operating situation. Now, when it's good, you will get a flash about every 8 to 10 seconds, even up to 15 seconds. When there's something funky going on, the tool will either be continuously flashing or give us some sort of sporadic beat or flash. Now, what's happening with these firmware update issues is that either someone has put the incorrect SD card inside the tool. There does have to be a correct formatting. When you do that, it causes the tool to reboot continuously or randomly. When that happens and you're trying to connect with your phone or tablets, you're kicking off a bootloader mode is what is occurring. And so with that happening, if you get stuck in a firmware update, if you kick out in the middle of a firmware update, there may be issues. So I'm going to show you how to hard reset that. So item one, let's start out first by saying with the beta app, this will give you issues in the alpha app as well. Do not use those for this. Let's go back to the production app that we've downloaded from the Google Play Store, which is the 2.1.9 for this video or whatever latest release of production is. Now I'm going to show you here. We're going to go ahead and connect. I can see my N2. I'm connecting. Just want to show you guys. It will go right into the meter mode as it should. Everything's here. This is normal. We do not want to see where it says loading indefinitely. That means there was a firmware update issue. Now I do have 85% battery left. Wouldn't be a problem. However, obviously it's optimal to have 100% battery. So if you can swap out batteries and that's comfortable for you, let's do that now. But I'm just going to go ahead and continue. So I want to show you this. We are going to go ahead and pull out back to the sync mode. I'm going to take the hard reset button. I'm going to hold that down for 3 seconds. We're going to hit scan and the N2 should disappear. I just want to show you this. Give it a moment. Going to hit scan one more time. This should not be on. There we go. No devices connected, and it did not find it. So that was from before. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here now is show you guys as I released the button. You saw it was flashing there for a second. We'll do that again on screen. I'm going to hit the reset button. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should get a 5th and then a double tap. There you go. So 5 and then it double beeped or double flashed. So what's happening here is the N2 is actually telling us that it is in a separate operating system that handles the firmware updates and it's waiting to be connected to. If you connect while it's in that boot cycle, it's about 7 to 8 seconds, it will force you into a firmware update. And if the firmware updates didn't get done right when a reboot had happened from the wrong SD card in here, or even you thought you needed to do a firmware update and you didn't, the issues are going to occur. So the way that we're going to go ahead and intentionally activate a firmware update is I'm going to hit this button on the tool, release it at the same time that I do a scan and connect, and you'll see a firmware update come up. So I'm hitting it and I'm releasing. I tap scan. As soon as I see my N2, I go to connect. While I'm connecting in this if you notice, the flashes are continuing. I am now into a firmware update mode. Now, even if it has the same build, you can still force a firmware update in the case that there was a corruption or some sort of communication lag between the two and you caused an issue. Now, you have two options, starting with the normal firmware update or what we call legacy mode, which is a little bit more slower. Now, I'm going to go with just the regular. However, if you have been having issues, just do legacy mode. It'll take a little bit longer, but that'll be okay. Now, you will get a time frame up here at the top that will tell you, okay, how many seconds we have left. If you notice the LED is flashing, it is actually indicating to us that there is new firmware being loaded. There is a size of information transfer happening right here. So I'm at 25 seconds of 261, and we're going to use some Hollywood magic to instantly speed this up for you guys. And I do want to say this before we do that. The unit will automatically reboot after it's done. Sometimes that reboot occurs so quickly that this particular side of the software doesn't catch it very well, and it'll just kind of look like it's frozen there at the last second or two. It's gone ahead and rebooted itself. You just need to close the app and reconnect. Now, another thing I want to mention to you is when you are doing this, you want to make sure that you are not walking away, taking phone calls, having this process interrupted. If you interrupt this process, you will have to reset. And we have made sure that this is a how may I say it? You can't completely freeze out the unit to where you quote unquote brick it. However, you will make things more difficult. We will have to force the reboot a few times. So anyways, make sure this is all you're doing. Keep the N2 right next to the phone or the tablet and continue on. Here is our Hollywood reset. Okay, we've gone ahead and come back in right at the last few seconds here to show you what happens. Now in this case, it looks like we did capture and get locked out at that last few seconds, but if you notice, the LED here is going back to its normal status where it gave us the 4 flashes, and on the 5th flash, it does the double tap. Now, it looks like it's locked up. Oh my goodness, everything's crazy, the world's ending, but it's not. I'm gonna go ahead and close out the app. Gonna go ahead and reconnect here, or reopen it. Go back to sync. We'll look at our N2 neuron, initializing, and we are now connected. I do also want to point out that this will be the resolution for anyone who's having connection errors and issues where and I'm going to pinpoint this here, where right now when I'm going to hit connect, you're going to see that it says initializing. Sometimes if you get an error where it says initializing error code 2 or 1, those are just telling you that the tool and the tablet can see each other, but the system on the phone or the tablet has blocked this from communicating. What tends to happen is that you actually tried to connect, or you had something was going on with the operating system while the tool was in a reboot phase, and it just doesn't like it. So you have to refresh the firmware in order to resolve that. And that is an operating system of the phone or tablet thing. We are working on that and identifying how to resolve it, but that is your quick get around for now. All right, thank you so much. Please let us know if you have any questions, and we look forward to helping you out. Also, I do want to say again, if you had the issue with the SD card, most 99% of the time, this issue occurs when you had the wrong SD card in here. You have to put the right SD card. No more than 32 gigabytes and the right formatting. That information is in the product manual, and I will post it right here. Thank you very much and have a great day.